Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned into MB12 Weekend, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight, why the Crisis Center says Bahamians shouldn't be surprised by the high gender-based violence numbers. The F&M predicting a failed gender referendum this summer. The reigning Carnival Music Masters champion sets his eyes on a second win. Plus, as always, we check out this week's cutest kids and pets. I'm Paige McCartney. We've got those and more stories straight ahead on MB12 Weekend. Welcome once again to MB12. Those shocking numbers revealing more than 6,000 incidents of gender-based violence over about a decade should not come as a surprise to Bahamians, according to Deputy Director of the Bahamas Crisis Center, Donna Nichols, who said her organization has been ringing the alarm on the escalation in the worrying trend for years now. Earlier this week, a report released by the National Task Force for Gender-Based Violence indicated that the Bahamas is ranked among the top countries in the world for gender-based violence per capita, calling it an escalating endemic. Nichols said the last time a study was conducted and conference held locally in 2007, the Bahamas was among the top 3 countries in the Caribbean with the highest reports of sexual violence. Since then, she said, very little policy changes have been put in place to address the growing problem, and Bahamians should be ashamed, particularly as bills to support marital rape, a sex offenders registry, and even the gender referendum continue to fall by the wayside.
I just feel that as a community, we should be ashamed and embarrassed that the numbers are this high. We have these amendments of the law that need to be done that as a community we're not supportive of, and we're using every excuse we want in the book instead of thinking that they are the laws come about to protect certain people, certain vulnerable communities, communities, okay?
She said laws are implemented to protect the rights of the most vulnerable, and the growing reports of rapes, incest, and sexual battery are signs that these laws are needed more than ever.
If these communities did not exist, we wouldn't need these laws. But clearly, we have to understand that there is rape between marriage. I mean, there's no two ways about that. Migrant women are molested and raped and abused all the time. And it's just now that we're trying to give them a voice as well, because it's just so many other things. And so that's another area that nobody even speaks about. And well, we have just started some advocacy around that. So really, as a community, we have to start by believing.
According to the report, 3 of the top 10 recorded rates in the world occur in the Caribbean, and the Bahamas leads the pack, followed by St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and then Jamaica. Nichols weighed in on why she believes rape is such a taboo topic in Caribbean culture.
Oh, because most people don't think that rape is a crime. Most people do not believe that it should be, and it is a crime. And so, of course, it goes down to he says, she says, he says, and then it gets muddy. And sometimes it is muddy, but if we all begin to have new conversations, then it won't be muddy at all. But we have to start there to understand that it is a serious problem, and it's something that affects the lives of families, not just the individuals, families, every single day.
It's important to note that rape and child sexual abuse are still underreported, but Nichols said the high numbers tracked in the report indicate a step in the right direction in that more victims are willing to report their abuses than before.
Even though it's not where we want it to be, the system responds a little bit better. I'm not quite sure if, say, women on the Family Island, all the women on the Family Island and so on, the support system for there is as good. But I know in New Providence, those women who are brave enough to come, brave enough to speak out, then the system will respond as best as it can. Now, what happens too is that there are a lot of victims of sexual violence who come in for help, to help them through the ordeal, but they are not going to go to the police.
But where do we go from here in reducing these crimes? Nichols said, armed with this information, the first step is accepting the Bahamas has a problem, something many Bahamians don't want to do.
So it's really for us to understand that it is a problem and it is something that collectively we have to address. That's the first level. The second thing now is that we have to begin to inform, sensitize, engage the community in real conversations about sexual violence. Not that it is bad sex gone wrong or something like that, because we have to understand that it's really about power and control, and we have to have conversations with men and women about, you know, the what it is, what you do, what you don't do.
While former Senator and F&M Deputy Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands said he believes the constitutional referendum on gender equality could fail purely because the public wants to send a message to the government, and if it does, Sands said it will be a damning condemnation of this administration's commitment to Bahamians.
It'll get through the House of Assembly. It will not get through the House of Assembly with a unanimous vote, and I don't think it matters if it does or it doesn't. But when it's put to the public, I suspect that as the PLP-led initiative in 2001, it's going to be defeated, not because of the merit of the questions, but because we want to send a message to this government.
Charging that the water has already been poisoned, Sands pointed to the 2013 gambling referendum where the majority of voters said no, but government wound up going against the results and legalizing web shop gaming anyway.
The water has been poisoned now, and the government of the Bahamas, having defied the wishes of the people of the Bahamas with its first referendum, now finds itself in a situation where an important referendum, and these 4 bills are all very important, and I support every single one of them, will now have to be put not only to Parliament, but to the people. And I think that if we are unable to get these gender equality bills passed, it would be a damning condemnation of this administration's commitment to all of the people of this country.
Sands said gender inequality is perhaps one of the most embarrassing issues affecting the nation, aligning it with some of the most regressive countries in the world.
You know, this is perhaps one of the most embarrassing things of life in the Bahamas. Here we are, admittedly, with huge challenges of gender-related violence, challenges with equality and access of our women, and we find ourselves in the Bahamas to be aligned with some of the most regressive countries in the world, where we have constitutionally mandated discrimination against persons in the Bahamas purely on the basis of their gender.
In other news tonight, police say a serial robber allegedly responsible for a string of 9 housebreakings is behind bars tonight after he was arrested and charged earlier this week. 24-year-old Jermaine Thompson of Tropical Gardens has been linked to 9 housebreakings in western and southwestern New Providence over the past 4 weeks. Thompson was charged for 7 counts of housebreaking and stealing by officers from the Southwestern Division and 2 counts of housebreaking and stealing by officers from the Western Division. Thompson pleaded not guilty during his arraignment in court number 11 on Friday, and he was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until March 2nd. Meantime, police say they arrested a few other housebreaking suspects. Reports are that on Thursday, Southwestern Division officers received a report of a housebreaking at a home on Marshall Road where a shotgun and other items were stolen. An investigation led to the arrest of 5 male suspects between Thursday and Friday, during which officers executed a search warrant and recovered that shotgun from one of the suspects' homes that was allegedly stolen during the housebreaking. Investigations into those matters are ongoing. Well, winning once just wasn't enough for returning Music Masters champ Sammy Starr. After taking home a big check last year for producing the best song during the inaugural Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival, the recording artist said this will be his last run. But before he bids Carnival competition farewell, he said he wants to go home 2 straight. Here's Kyle Joaquin with the story.
It was at Junkanoo Carnival last year that Sammy Starr walked away victorious.
Second place with 666 points. My Island in the Sun, Erica Lady E, and the winner with 671 points, Sammy Starr. In the line, ladies and gentlemen, those are your winners. Sounds like Junkanoo morning. We want to thank you. We want to thank all of us, Sammy Starr.
His song, Jumpin' the Line, snagged him thousands of dollars in prize money and a recording contract in the first ever Music Masters competition at Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival. But now that he's been announced as one of the 20 semi-finalists once again in this year's competition, the singer said he's aiming to walk away with the top prize once again.
It describes the journey, talks about when we first started, and now it talks about what to look forward to this year. So it's a story. It's a full story. I love writing stories and songs, you know. And then, of course, this year I wanted to really represent us, because to me, the whole idea for Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival is to create another platform for us to showcase Junkanoo, Raking Scrape, Gombe, the whole 9.
This year, the competition is said to be even stiffer, with more newcomers making the cut. The returning champ says he welcomes them.
Let me tell you something. I love stiff competition. I don't ever want to win easily. You know what I mean? I intend to win, as I'm sure all the other competitors intend to as well. But you know, stiff competition makes me perform more. You know, if you tell me that you're going to be so much better this year, you know, and then obviously I'm going to be so much better this year as well. You know, so if we're both so much better this year, then who wins? You know, so I live for the competition. I live for the, you know, the fire. I live for the opportunity. So bring it on.
Sammy said in creating second time around, he got a lot of talented young musicians involved.
And of course, I got my favorite marching band, the Bahamas All-Stars Marching Band, to come and join with me on the song. And they came and they played their instruments live, the snares, the toms, the brass, the trombones, the trumpets. It was intense, and the song itself is insane. That marching band and Raking Scrape fusion is, oh man, crazy.
With Junkanoo Carnival less than 3 months away, will we be seeing a new music video for the song?
Actually, we're closing on things for the video right now as we speak, and we should be shooting within a few weeks.
Again, Sammy says this will be his second and last time entering the competition. We here at NB12 wish him the best of luck. For NB12 Weekend, I'm Kyle Joaquin.